1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
We have made it to Friday. I know it's a short week, so it went by faster than normal, but it still feels always good to arrive at Friday.
Yeah, Friday afternoon. I mean, happy hour started last night around 5 o'clock, I guess. So we rolled right into the weekend, into today. Yeah, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's good to be
and
here.
you play this weekend.
What's that?
Dad bods are back.
Dad bods are back, man. I can't wait. It feels like forever since we've played.
That's what I was thinking.
We get these gaps. I don't like the gaps, but they are what they are. But yeah, we're back. We actually got back-to-back weekends. How about that?
Oh, fun.
Tomorrow night, we're at String Sports Brewery in Jacks Beach on Penman. Never been there before. 7:30 start time. And then the following Sunday, we're at Monkey's Uncle from 3 to 7. So 4 hours.
That's a good one.
I love those early
me
times.
too.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So do we. Hence the name, Dad Bods.
Absolutely.
Get to go to bed early. We like that stuff for sure. But
yeah, my problem is I still don't. I just start drinking at 3 and then continue.
Until
exactly.
3.
Yeah, if you make it. If you make it.
Quick update on Florida baseball, by the way. It's over on 1010 a.m., so if you want to listen to the game, I know you'll have to turn us off, but if you want to listen to it, it is over on 1010 a.m. in the AM stream. Florida's first batter up was Kyle Jones. The very first pitch that he got, he swung and hit a home run.
No kidding.
Yep, but since then,
Smart
Florida
move.
has done absolutely no damage, so it is 1-0. Russell Sandifer is pitching for Florida, and he looks excellent after that comebacker it hit his right arm last Saturday. He looks great. And so so far, 1-0 against Ryder in the top of the fourth.
That's pretty cool. You know, normally you take the first pitch. You know what I mean? Just like, but then if you're aggressive, because they're going to throw a strike.
Right. Well, once that
Especially
happened, I thought, okay, Florida's about to destroy this team, right? If the very first batter is getting up and swinging at the first pitch, they understand whatever this guy's throwing, like they can get after. But now, like I said, Florida in the third inning had bases loaded, didn't get a single run.
Or caught by surprise, and then they figured, you know, but anyway, I like the fact that he's like, all right, screw it.
Just swing at
Throw me a strike. It's going. I'm going for it. So what a cool way to start the game.
What's so cool about NCAA baseball is so many of these guys are so incredibly talented. Like you'd think, well, it's a team called Ryder, right? Like or a university called Ryder. They're not going to have the talent Florida has. No, they have tons of talent, and their pitcher right now is pitching really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, you could see it all across the televisions out there and here as well. And that's why, look, I don't know, if you took all the professional sports, including golf, what's the toughest one to break the entry barrier, into the pros? You know what I mean? Like, think of all that talent, how tight it is, how close it is. Like, some of these guys may go on and play AAA, AA, maybe, or they don't at all.
Yeah. That's why it's a little easier in baseball is because there are those levels from single A,
okay.
So you're still like professional, triple. But you're a single.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But now the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah. There's also smaller rosters, obviously, when it comes to baseball and basketball, for example, compared to the NFL. And so that's part of the conversation because, I mean, you get 52-plus practice squad in the NFL and for 32 teams.
Yeah,
and
53
but
plus
think
16
of like percentages,
now.
right? Like they say, whatever, 1% of whatever college or high school go to the NFL. Is it similar? I got to think like golf has got to be wicked hard. You know what I mean? Like to get that barrier of really being a pro week after week.
I would say that has to be, and it's one of the most expensive I've heard to really, if you are going to make, for the most part, because it takes a lot of money in the beginning. You have to travel a lot, and like it's not like you're
just every round you have to pay for.
That's a. I mean, even now they talk about professional golfers pay for their own trips and all of their things when it comes to that. If you are playing high school football, especially at certain schools, your gear's covered and your travel's covered and all of that.
Which
but it's
schools
still
are you referring to?
Yeah, certain schools.
Hockey's expensive too.
Hockey's expensive too because that's another one you have to
Florida,
travel a lot.
Yeah.
There's probably northern states or Midwestern states where it's a little easier.
All that stuff's expensive.
For sure. Yeah.
I remember seeing, and I'll try and find it when we're on break so I can look at the exact numbers. But I remember seeing at some point someone created a number, and it was like from middle school to high school, from high school to college, from college to pros for the NFL. And it's wild. Like it was like, here's the number of kids that are playing middle school football. Here's the number of kids playing high school, college, and then the NFL. And the drastic drop between each one, not just to the NFL, each one, the level that drops. Some of it's disinterest, from middle school to high school, but some of it's, not being at a school who has a football team or a good football team, or being able to get to the football, or just not being good enough. And so there's so many factors, and obviously less teams and less rosters as that starts to count down. So the numbers are crazy when you actually see them on paper.
No doubt. I'd like to see.
You're a 1%er.
1%er. How about that? Unbelievable. But even with baseball, think about the amount of time and effort, like traveling to games, the bats, the gloves. That's like you got to be dedicated. And now, here's the thing, though. Like, if you're young like that, that money's there for you. It becomes you don't want to take the game away from the kids because it's still a game. But, that carrot, as they get older, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, they should be thinking about, hey, man, if I got the goods and I work hard enough, you know what? I may go to – I told you my buddy up in Michigan, his son plays for a college, Grand Valley State. Mm-hmm. His teammate, it was one of his teammates getting recruited by him. He was not at Grand Valley. He's still in high school. May go to Grand Valley, offered him like $80,000 a year to play baseball, which is great. Like, are you kidding me? You go to school, you play baseball, you make $80,000 a year. That's incredible.
That's the life.
That carrot is out there for those kids if they want it.
And the work is there. When you talk about and we've talked about it on this show, but the jumbo shrimp, for example, you're playing 5-6 months of baseball 6 days a week. There's 6 days, 6-game series in the minor leagues. And so that's a lot of time and commitment you're putting into that. Half your year is playing games almost every single day.
Which they do that, obviously, in the minor leagues because they're trying to minimize travel. Yeah. They don't want to do 3-game series because then you're
so they're like, let's knock out 2 series technically in 1 week.
But I know emotionally, and I think we've talked about this, but like you get called up. Everyone in your world is so incredibly excited. And then you get sent back down, right after. Right. And it's like you've made your major league debut and you have that high and you've been in the major league clubhouse and you got to play with those guys that you've read about and learned about for so long. And then literally you get sent right back down. Same with
practice squad guys, right? Yeah. You get active, you get in there, you're up, you're down, you go to another team, same kind of,
It's emotional. By the way, speaking of the carrot, I feel like the carrot is probably more incentive for the parents, honestly. Like when you're talking about the kids, they probably don't quite grasp. Like a 13-year-old may not really grasp what $80,000 can do for you or $200,000, things like that.
The parents are like,
but it's the parents that are like, okay, Timmy, I'm going to send you out, to get
and
extra
live vicariously
training
through the kid.
Right.
Yeah,
but
not that. That's not what I'm a proponent of. But those kids, listen, I had the conversation at 15. It was the service or get a scholarship. I mean, my dad couldn't afford to send me to college. He could barely afford my brother. My other brother, Bobby, went to the Air Force. And he's like, look, I think you can do it. I don't know what level, but, if you work hard enough, you'll do something. He's like, it's either that or you go sign up for the service. I was like, I don't want to go in the service. So I'm going to figure out.
But you like rules so much and structure. I'm shocked. You love rules and structure.
See Tommy just like pacing over to the side. Like, get in line.
I probably would have been great in the military.
I had
honestly.
fun. I was over here. I'm sorry. I was thinking too much.
I love structure and routine. That would have been fun for me. Yeah. But no, I do think, and at some point in time, we get to the place where you evaluate your kids' talent level and you just hope that they're still having fun when they're going through it all, right? Like that the point is to
you don't want to drain the fun out of it.
No.
You don't. So but when I had that discussion, things changed for me.
Okay.
I mean, it's still fun. Seriously? I loved playing. And I was always serious, but I started training at a different level.
Right.
I started doing more things, because I wanted to I wanted to work towards that. So I think it's a certain age, 13 maybe too young, but 15, 16, like it's right there. And I don't care what sport you're talking about. You may, whatever, you may get 10 grand, you may get 20, but it's something that, can help offset whatever you may not get in funding for, your scholarship or maybe parents need help or whatever.
Yeah. Would it have changed too if you would have been even more into it if you knew you were getting a scholarship and you were going to get $300,000 to play football?
I was like on that edge of probably doing too committed, even with just this. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have been healthy for me. Someone would have to rein me in a bit.
Okay.
Because I would be like, man, I got to do this. Because I always had that. I don't want to call it a struggle because I was fast, in my class, like when I was growing up. And as I got older, so I was always thinking about how do I get faster? I would jump rope. I'd take karate. I'd do yoga. I'd be sprinting all the time. I'd be running in the pool. I'd be figuring out how I could just get a little bit faster. You know what I mean? So yeah, if that was dangling and that's what whatever I needed to do, I would go do it. I mean, then it becomes, I mean, I'm sorry we're there, but it becomes a business decision. Like, what do you want? You know, you want the scholarship? Yeah. You don't pay for school. That was, I mean, when I got my scholarship at BC, it was like, you know, my parents were like, what? That's unbelievable. Not that they could send me to BC because they never could, but for you to do that, I mean, that the joy in their face, like that was incredible. Like to be able to deliver that, but and then on top of that, like, oh, by the way, I can help you out every month. You know, hey, Dad, you need a car? What do you need? You know what I mean? Like that's so empowering for a lot of young people. So I don't know. I think when you get to a certain age, and if you're listening, like you should. You know, you don't want to live vicariously. Don't push them too hard. You got to have natural talent. Like you got to be like, okay, you can see they've got potential, right?
Of that tough love's not a bad thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I do think one of the underrated sides of when we talk about the NIL and these students making money now is that part of it when it comes to being able to go a little farther than maybe in the sense of distance-wise from your home. Because I know a lot of kids are like, I don't want to go too far from home because I've got to help mom. I've got to help little brother. I've got to help dad.
True.
They're not going to be able to come watch me play. But now you have money you're getting money to be able to help your family back at home. You can fly mom out if she needs to see you. And so I do think when we talk about some of the things that are leveling the playing field a little bit when it comes to college football, that is part of it. Because I know a lot of kids in high school that were like, I just can't go that far because my grandma's sick, or like my mom needs my help with my little brother getting to school, so I have to go, down the road to where I can still help. And that fully affected where they chose to go to college. And now if you're able to help financially and still be able to see your family a little bit more than maybe you could have before, I think that factors into a lot of decisions.
So like Northwestern was after me really hard. I really liked their coach, Francis Pay. They were 0-11, so it was kind of tough. They weren't doing very well. And then BC, of course, but my parents were going to Florida. But if they stayed in Chicago, I wonder if maybe I would have thought staying closer to home. Because they were like, hey, we're out of here. Go wherever you want.
See you every day. Like,
go do whatever. And I did want to fly. Like I was one of those kids who's like, I don't want to live here. Like not that I don't know what, maybe I'll come back, but I'm ready to go see what else is out there than my hometown.
So did your youngest brother finish his high school in Florida?
I'm the youngest.
Oh, for some reason I thought Mike was younger than you. I don't know why.
No.
Maybe because his kids are younger than you. That's why I thought that. Okay.
Yeah, no, Mike, it goes, I'm the youngest, Mike, Bob, and then my sister.
Gotcha. Okay. So now it makes sense that they were done with their...
Yeah, they're out. They're like, hey, we're going to Florida. Good luck. We'll see you tomorrow. They literally, seriously, I had this massive duffel bag. They dropped me off. I don't even think they walked in with me or walked into it before.
Threw
like
your stuff
security.
out the window.
They're like, all right, Tom, good luck. We'll see you in a month. I'm like, all right, love you.
My parents helped move me in and then like hugged goodbye, whatever, they left. And then I was in my dorm room crying. And then later I was like, did you guys cry? And they were like, no.
You're like,
it's Gainesville. We knew you were about to have some
an hour
fun.
away.
That's
for
right.
real. You can come home when you want to.
Yeah.
Although I didn't have a car my freshman year. My brother got to drive that. All right, more to do on the other side. By the way, Florida right now, Caden McDonald hit a double and then was able to advance to third. So Florida has a runner on third base with one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning against Ryder in the first game of this NCAA tournament. Everyone obviously keeps saying they hope they get all the games in due to weather. So we'll certainly be monitoring that. I'll give you some other scores as well. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Get in the game with 1010XL.
That's the only way you can play.
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
It's a Helmets and Heels Friday, enhanced by Bowden Iron Associates.
Money pages in your mailbox right now.
Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Money pages in your mailbox right now.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious?
Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us 641-1010.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Weight loss gets a lot easier when you stop guessing. Reclaim by Awaken 180. 10 weeks, a real target, finish line, and most importantly, results. Medication-free and free support for life at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Hicken here, folks. It's happening. It is happening. We're going fairway, lush, and green at the Hicken household for, topdressing.com. Treated my yard, and I'm telling you guys, another company cannot do what they do. They have the custom equipment, that secret mix. You can't buy it in the store. Heck, it takes a year to make. With topdressing.com, you're amending your soil, and it's thriving. Make your neighbors jealous. Get to topdressing.com today or call 888-850-1850 for your free estimate.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening the whole group can enjoy? Discover the thrill of Sharks football. Fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. It's Star Wars night. Presented by HCA Florida Healthcare. Don't miss this Saturday, May 30th, as your Sharks look to continue their winning ways. Kickoff 7 o'clock and tickets start at just $15. This is the fun you've been looking for. The first 1,000 kids receive a free lightsaber. Dress up as your favorite character and get photos with members of the 501st Legion before the game. The Force is strong with this deal. Try our family 4-pack. Get 4 tickets and $50 in food or merchandise vouchers, all for only $100. Join us on field after the game for our free autograph session, sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. Tickets start at just $15. To get yours, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks! Hicken here. Experience crystal clear vision with the Eye Associates, formerly Bow 9 Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD, Jacksonville's leader in advanced eye care. From routine eye exams to specialized vision care, their experienced team dedicated to improving and preserving your vision. The same care you've come to trust, now with a new name. To schedule your appointment today, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bow 9 Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. I love when social accounts are very creative, and the Florida baseball team is that, or their social account is very creative. So Florida had Landon Stripling up, and he ended up with a sacrifice fly. And so the Florida baseball account tweets out, "That's a strip sack."
That's funny.
Stripling sack fly. But yeah, so Florida was able to play to run. So it is now 2-0. And like I said, Caden McDonald, that was the one who had reached second base, had the double. He also pitches. So we, at some point this weekend, could potentially see him both hitting and pitching, which I think is super cool. All right, run through a couple of baseball scores for
I was
you.
just going to say one and done in this thing, right?
No, it's double elimination.
It is double. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you get to the regionals and super regionals, well, super regionals are your best 2 out of 3, but this weekend is double elimination.
Gotcha.
So as we look through, Kentucky's beating Wake Forest 5-4. East Carolina, and that game is top of the 7th. East Carolina, Tennessee tied at 1. Georgia Tech is whooping up on the Citadel 17-3. That one's in the top of the 6th. Liberty and Boston College knotted at 2.
Oh,
They're in the top of the 8th. So that
There you
game is
go.
nearing an end.
Fly Eagle.
And then you've got Auburn. This one's a shocker. Auburn is a 4 seed in the tournament. Again, Florida's an 8 seed. Auburn is a 4 seed.
Okay.
Auburn is hosting Milwaukee, and right now it is 10-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Milwaukee.
Wow.
Over
Milwaukee.
Auburn. Milwaukee, who you wouldn't think they have a great baseball program. And they're
Yeah, boo you. You don't like the college either.
Don't like
Anything
the
that
state.
does with Milwaukee.
Anything with
Or
Wisconsin.
right.
And then reminder, FSU first pitch at 3 o'clock against St. John's. We were talking about this kind of off the air too, but like college football to me, we keep saying like the sport is broken and they need to they need to redo some of these rules and all these things. And it's the Wild Wild West. At the end of the day, is college football smarter than all of us? Because we've done nothing but talk college football for the last few weeks, and everyone in the world of sports is talking about college football. Now, it's not actual football on the field like X's and O's, but is
Still
it
the
kind of
league,
right? Normally, this time of year, we're not saying anything about college football because it's dormant, and we don't get OTAs and training camp and stuff like that the way we do with the NFL.
Yeah, and I kind of said that to Matt Hayes. I was like, look, it's exciting, and I'm like, it's giving us things to talk about, and you love that because usually during this point of time, it is just silence in college football, and you're waiting for August because you're just like, all right, just get us to the point where we can actually talk about the product on the field. I guess media days in July,
Media days
you get
give you
some
a taste,
stuff
but
out
it's
of.
still not the same. And then the NFL does a much better job of access for media. The college football likes to shut its doors and only allow media very short,
tiny. You get 4 minutes or something. It's
Right.
crazy.
It's
But yeah, so I do think they're doing it the right way. And now they know they have something that gets people talking in the sense of the expansion and NIL and the portal, the coaches right now and how vocal they are on certain things. And you have coaches like Elaine Kiffin who just says whatever he wants to say. And that gives you more content within college football. And I think that they love that. College football loves that they have this kind of controversy in a sense, and they're honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this drags out for a while, and they're like, okay, we're just going to do 12 this year, and then you have another year or two of 12, and then you go, and every single year, every single summer, we're talking about the same thing, and then eventually it's to 24 all of a sudden, just because I feel like they're going to want to have this attention for as long as possible, and granted, they'll get it in the season once you know that conversation when it's time to pick. If it goes to 16, when you're picking those 16 teams and people are like, see, we should have went to 24 because this team and this team should have been in it, or no, see, this team makes it and they shouldn't have, we should have stayed at 12. That will bring conversation, but that's during the season when you're already getting the conversation. So this off-season chatter for them and this back and forth of who's right and who's wrong and conferences turning on each other a little bit, they're like, this is great. We're getting, you're
in the
talking
news.
about us.
I feel like something's like coming to a head, and I don't know what that is, right? I mean, you've got Congress getting involved. You have Kirby Smart saying we could break off, whether that's true or not. We probably think they could. The game 12 to 24. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in college football. And where's it lead? Like what's going to happen? I just feel like it's great that they're getting the exposure.
Something's
we're talking
gotta
about,
give.
but something's brewing. Like something's going on hopefully some resolution. So it's not the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
And it might take a minute to get used to, but I think it's terrible that the government's even got to get involved.
But
that you even let it get to that point. Like, come on,
what's so
fellas,
funny,
get it
though,
together.
like the NCAA had rules in place.
Yeah.
And then the Supreme Court said, well, you know what? This is not working for the players. You guys are an entity that the players have absolutely no abilities, right? And so they're giving you all the money, or they're the reason you're making all this money. And so therefore they need to get, whether it's more movement, whether it's more money, or getting money above the table, not under the table, right? So now it's gone back to the government.
Yeah. But why not handle it on the front end? You knew that it was going to cause some kind of chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just had no, real
coaches were saying this years before it happened.
Players, great. I'm all for the players, but there's got to be some parameters to what you get.
There's a
and
compromise
what you
in here
do.
somewhere, and that's where this new act, if it passes, we'll see. But if it passes, I feel like would at least bring us a little bit. We're never going to go back to where we once were, but at least a little bit better. And to your point, Tom, I was hearing Mike Griffith on with XL Primetime from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And he was like, the SEC kind of got duped. They went to 9 games and didn't get the 16-team playoff that everyone had agreed to. But now the SEC is going to hold out of this 24-teamer. They'll, maybe eventually get there. But because they understood how much money they were going to make to get to 16 teams. They have now figured out that the Big Ten is going to make a lot more money, and maybe the other conferences, but especially the Big Ten, because the Big Ten's partners with Fox, and Fox doesn't have a piece of the pie when it comes to the college football playoff. ESPN has had it. And so the SEC is sitting back and going, well, wait a minute. you want the 2014 playoff because it benefits you and the network that you're with and Fox. How do we benefit? And that's where it's at a stalemate for the here and now.
Yeah, because they want themselves benefited on each side. And that's what I think that
everyone's selfish.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, we've said that on here.
conversation.
They're all doing it for themselves. And in that sense, the Big Ten, the SEC is pointing like, oh, you're only doing this for yourself, but the Big Ten's like, okay, well, you're not doing it because of yourself. So you're both doing the same exact thing, just on opposite sides of it.
But the SEC's like, but we went to 9 games that you asked us to.
Yeah.
That's I think the part that Greg Sankey's been so upset about.
But you caved and then you didn't get what you wanted at the end. Like the Big Ten looks greedy at this point in time. I think both look greedy, but the Big Ten is kind of looking like, okay, well, we asked you to do this. And then granted, things change and everyone's like, why all of a sudden did it go to 16, 24 to 24? Because money, that's what it is. All of a sudden you start looking more into it. In a year's time, you have these conversations with more and more people of how much more you could make and what the 2014 playoff could look. And so, yes, I think it's logical for your mind to start to change within a year that you said it the last time that you wanted 16. It's just, I feel like, and part of it when it comes to the courts and the government getting back involved, the problem is with that, if they were to stay out, you're still having players go constantly to the courts and appeal stuff. And so the courts were still involved anyways, because every other week they were having to go to court for a player that's appealing one of the rules that hadn't been agreed on anyways. And then it's appeal 1, 2, 3, 4. And so instead they're like, well, let's just get fully involved in this and make it to where these players, you feel like you're getting something in the middle. And that's the problem, is it's just a cycle right now that I don't know how it's honestly going to totally end, because the coaches and conferences and schools are about money, but now the players are getting money, so they're going to be more and more about money. And that's just what it's going to turn into when it comes to, hold on, if you're making X amount, why am I not making more money, is what it's going to turn into.
Because everyone within the universities is pointing this at all of this as to not the players' fault, but because the players are demanding so much money and they are rightfully getting it, right?
Yeah.
But they're saying, well, that's why we have to now go to 24 teams, because we need more money to pay these players.
Yeah.
But that's not what pay for play was intended to be.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be, here's a chunk of money, the $22 million, $20 to $22 million. Use this for your football team, men's basketball team, women's basketball team, whatever teams you want.
Yeah.
Use that. And then if they get private NIL, then move on. But what's happened is these rich boosters in Texas and Louisiana and Florida, right? They are saying, wait a minute. Like Darian Mensah, Miami, perfect example. You were saying off the air that he's making more in one season potentially than Drake May. We know for sure how much Drake May is making as a quarterback for the Patriots. We don't know exactly about Mensah. It's all just being rumored. But Miami, a rich booster, says, leave Duke and come to Miami, and I'm going to pay you $10 million. Well, that doesn't fit in the world of what it was originally intended to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we have...
Cam Ward was the same way, right? Cam got a bunch of money too, didn't he? Down in Miami.
Cam Ward.
Carson Beck got way more than Cam Ward did, but yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
It just keeps escalating.
It's getting more and more.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's what, when you talk about overall with the schools, I mean, there's some rumors that certain rosters are $40+ million,
LSU, for sure.
which is insane, because I mean, we were talking about this with Major League Baseball yesterday, and the
ceiling and the floor.
Yeah, the ceiling and the floor that they want to build. And we were talking about those lower range teams who are under, I don't remember the lowest that was on there. It was like
the Marlins,
70, 80 million, something like that. So it's only a Major League Baseball roster is only costing you 35 more million dollars than some of the college football rosters right now.
And the whole point of the 24 team playoff, or 16 teams or 12 teams, is let's level the playing field so more teams get a shot.
Yeah.
Well, right now in the system that they've created, the schools with the richest boosters are the ones that are going to be benefiting. And if your school is one of those, great.
Yeah.
If your school's not one of those, then you're going to be left behind. And Florida was in that space of where people said, I'm not going to contribute to this NIL campaign. I don't like the head coach. And so Florida certainly fell behind NIL-wise.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to catch up. And you have John Summerall saying things like, well, we're not near the top, but we're not at the bottom anymore, where some people think a school like Florida should be closer to the top because of how big of a school it is.
And I will say, sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish.
I was just about to, it did get out of control, but I do think it still helped some of the smaller programs in a way, because you do have the pay for play. So you automatically have that 20 million when some schools didn't even have that previously to be able to pay their players. So there is that. It reminds me of Major League Baseball when it comes to the sense where you have these teams down here who just can't afford a lot of things, but every once in a while they can play one or two players that really kind of changes their roster or helps them out in some way. But the gap between that and the top is just way too big, and I don't know how you get that closer together.
Well, look at Indiana. Did they always have a bunch of money? You know what I mean? Prior to the 2 years of success, were they a university loaded with booster money ready to give to the team? The answer is probably no, or they would have been better. You know what I mean? But then they bring in Signetti, things change. He goes out, raises money. Next thing you know, Indiana's got the money.
Yeah, you
know
can
what I
pay
mean?
for
Can that
portal
happen?
players and recruit
So
'em.
maybe as far as leveling it all out, that's what is leveling out.
That's
which
kind of been my argument.
if you add more teams, one thing, it is TV money. There's no doubt, but the excitement that March Madness brings, could you bring it to a lower level in college football? You know, in a one weekend going from whatever, not obviously 64, but 24 down to 12. You know what I mean? Like in a way where it would bring, it's done quick, one and done. You know what I'm saying? Like it bring more excitement to the actual playoff atmosphere.
I think eventually that's not saying it's going to be as big as March Madness, obviously, but the 24, I think in their minds they're looking ahead and they're like, and whatever you want to think about how they relate to it. But obviously March Madness, a huge part of that is filling out your brackets and the betting side of things. So money comes in from that. The moment you have 24 teams, that bracket starts to expand, and that college football bracket, which they've talked about trying to make it that the last, with the 12 team, that's not as elaborate. But 24 teams, you can fill out some brackets, you can make some bets. All of a sudden, the gambling, that money starts coming in. And I think that's what they're looking at in the long run. Unfortunately, like I said, it's kind of greedy right now to this point in time, but that's what it's about.
Make any money from the gambling side of things.
Yeah, but just like sponsorships and stuff like that throughout when it comes to the different betting sites and DraftKings and all of that do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's a massive amount of money. I know you scoff, but I swear there's going to be a super conference. It's going to be it's going to be the best. Not scoff, but you don't put. I just think it's getting. I mean, you're getting to the haves and have-nots. I know you're saying in baseball,
Indiana out, right?
But,
like
what's
3
that?
years ago, we would have said if we were trimming the fat, Indiana would not be in it.
But they're not now. How did they turn it around?
So yeah, maybe there's a relegation system like there is in professional soccer. By the way, Florida's opened it up a little bit now, 5-0 in the bottom of the fifth with runners on first and second and 2 outs. So getting to that.
I mean, think about Indiana. They went from the worst to the best.
Right.
How?
Can they sustain it? Who knows? Is it an anomaly? Right. Like those are all
With
the
the
questions.
money, you would think they would be able to sustain it.
I don't think they're spending nearly as much as these schools that we always talk about, LSU and Texas Tech and Ohio State. I don't think they're spending like that. I think they have a phenomenal coach, and then they were able to get key transfers with a ton of experience.
Yeah, but those are over now, right?
Yes.
I mean, the ones he brought from his school.
But
James
that's what'll be interesting, because we can't do a case study on Indiana yet, right? Like it's too soon from when it happened. We need to see 5 years from now, what does Indiana football look like? Assuming Kurt Signetti's still there, which I assume he will.
It would be cool, and you probably never find out, but it would be cool to see what was raised when he got there. How did he get the money? Like, what did he raise? Was it 100 million? Was it 50 million?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how did he start, because eventually you got to raise the money. It's not just a great coach coming all of a sudden, here comes the guys.
So people are saying that I think this year's roster, 32 million
for Indiana.
It's pretty respectable.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they said basketball sucks, so we'll pour our money in football.
Ohio State's
and that's part of it when you
We
talk.
also don't know that these numbers are
not real.
real.
These are all kind of rumored when it comes to college. And that's what, when you talk about the TV, the viewership in March Madness is intensified because of the betting. So it's not like the money is straight going to the NCAA. But you're watching, the majority of people are watching the games because they have money on the games or they filled out a bracket. And so that all of a sudden is going to bring extra people watching college football when you turn it into something like that. And so I think that's where their mindset is how much possible money can we make? And the more teams and the more interest and the more games that people have to bet on and put parlays on, unfortunately, that's the world we live in. That money brings people in.
And if we've leveled things out, then
there's more
let's
teams
let
that
them
feel
play in a
competitive.
tournament and see who ends up being the best for that year anyway.
All right, more football to discuss on the other side. It's a conversation that is honestly never ending when it comes
until they find something to do.
The sports that we love. All right, more to do on the other side. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
It's a Helmets and Heels
Bowden Eye and Associates.
Friday.
Homeowners running out of space in your kitchen, closets bursting at the seams, or maybe your bathroom just feels outdated and cluttered. At Harvest Construction and Remodeling, custom cabinets are what they do best. Owner Scott spent years as the main cabinet installer for one of the region's largest big box retailers. As a family man growing his own business, he brings that experience directly to homeowners like you. They'll create beautiful storage solutions that improve look, feel, and function. Visit harvestrenovations.com.
License number CRC 1331012.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Here's a health and wellness tip from orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Here's a simple tip for shoulder health to improve your posture. Slouching can put extra stress on your shoulders, leading to pain and injury. Make sure your head is over your shoulders are relaxed and pulled back, and your spine is properly aligned, whether you're sitting or standing. If you sit for long periods of time, make sure to get up and take breaks and work on pulling your shoulders back. Get up and get moving, Jax, and go Jags.
Stay healthy with orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville.
Hey there, poker players. The Poker Atlas Tour is bringing 7 action-packed poker events to Best Bet St. Augustine from June 18th to the 28th, including the $600 no-limit hold'em title event with a $200,000 guarantee. Plus, don't miss Event 1, a $300 no-limit hold'em tournament featuring a $100,000 guarantee. Satellites are happening now at Best Bet St. Augustine. Visit bestbetjacks.com for tournament structures and all the details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Looking for your locally raised beef for your family? Houston's Meat Company proudly carries North Florida cattle raised right here in our community. From fresh ground beef to hand-cut steaks and roasts, every cut is USDA choice or higher. Locally raised from birth to harvest with no added hormones or antibiotics. It's quality you can taste and local sourcing you can feel good about. For more than 50 years, Jacksonville's families have trusted Houston's Meat Company for quality meats at great prices. Houston's Meat Company, Main Street at 295.
What if your next fun day out costs just $70 to play all day? That's exactly what you get at the Battalion Airsoft Arena, the only indoor airsoft battlefield in Jax. Skip the same old boring entertainment choices and step into real action with your crew. Perfect for birthdays, company team building, graduation parties, or just epic weekend fun. No experience, no problem. The Battalion package includes everything: gun, mask, and ammo with unlimited play. So lock in your mission now at BattalionAirsoftArena.com.
Tom McMahon is here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned and operated business on the First Coast for nearly 20 years. Known for reliability, quality craftsmanship, and professional service, Armstrong Fence handles it all, from big projects like stadiums and schools to your very own backyard. They build a wicked strong fence, and they do it right the first time. When you need a fence in Jacksonville, trust Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Bonita apple bloom. You gotta put me on. Bonita apple bloom. I said you gotta put
I definitely thought this was Killing Me Softly,
I did
based
too.
off of the first few guitar chords. Obviously, that song by Lauryn Hill. So this must be sampling some of that song. By the way, for all you Riley Green fans out there, he has a new song out. I added it to the playlist today. Y'all will love it. So at some point during today's show, hopefully RJ will play it as he's taking my verbal cues. And it is absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to tell you anymore.
RJ.
I'm just going to let you marinate on that. By the way, your baseball team scored a run.
3-2, huh?
3-2. Tom goes, I can't name a single player on the team, but
No.
go
job,
BC.
You're the coach. But so what? It's the alma mater, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see if
Abso-freaking-lutely.
they can move on. I mean, for BC to do anything in baseball,
Yeah, northern
incredible.
schools, obviously,
Yeah.
because of the weather and things like that,
Yeah, right.
have to play a lot of games away to start the season, usually down in Florida or at least the Southeast. But Liberty did score, so it's 3-3 now. Back to 3-3, and it's the top of the ninth. It is a barn burner. You got that right. And then an update on Florida. Florida is up still. I told you it was 5-0, and now it shows 3-0, and I haven't been able to completely lock in. So yeah, something must have happened. I'll work on that. But when it comes to, we've been talking so much college football and things like that, but when it comes to the NFL side of things, and we were talking about this off air, I wonder if at any point in time the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, the Big 12 are going to go to the NFL and say, hey, we're the engine that makes your incredibly successful car run. So we need a portion of the proceeds that you
guys make a lot of money.
Yeah, you're a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we need some of that at this point in time. I wonder if that's ever a conversation.
Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking also though, like, the other way around. You know what I mean? Like, if it's true that rounds 4 through 7. Not depleted. I don't think that's the right word. This year's draft, they said a lot of guys went back to college that would have been in those rounds, right? You see this quarterback making $10 million. You know, will it eventually get so big that they'll be like, hey, I got $20 million. Like, maybe I don't have to go play in the NFL. You know, maybe I could start a business or I can whatever. I can invest. Sure. My friend shows me how to invest my money. I can make that 20 into something, whatever. I don't know. You got to wonder if, like, is there going to be, like, I see what you're saying, like, hey, help us out and that kind of thing. But on the other side, like, I'm bringing you the talent, but that some of that talent's either waiting or not, maybe not coming at all. Now, granted, the money's way bigger over time in the NFL, but when you got $20 million, you're $10 million, $5 million in your pocket. I mean, think about people in the real world today. If you had $5 million in the bank, you're living especially in Florida, especially around here, you're living an incredible life.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like high on the hog. You're doing whatever you want for the most part. You know, you got to keep it in perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Will it get to that? Like, and then it gets me thinking, like, okay, so if it's true that this year's 4-round to 7-round class, it isn't as strong as it would have been, then you got to feel like, well, are these guys, where would they be would they even be draftable? Is it that many? I find it hard to believe that it's that many. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to see the numbers, because you hear that. You heard that this draft. Well, show me that data that says these guys that would have been 4th rounders are not going. They're staying in school and making whatever they're making because they make more money. And quite frankly, it's easier.
I will say
it's easier in college.
Some of that will be limited with this. You can't place they have 5-year eligibility now. And so they are trying to limit, because some of those guys going back are in year 6 or, they are in 5, 6, some of them 7 and 8 we've seen.
True.
And so they're going back and they probably know they're not going to be drafted, or if they are, it's going to be a 7th round. And so they're like, okay, well, I can go back for year 6 in college and make X amount, or I can maybe be drafted in the 6th or 7th round and kind of, wait and play the game. And so, but that will be eliminated a little bit, just because if all of this passes through. I know they were all just, I don't know, did it officially pass with the thing? It's just one of the, that they were talking about in the meetings with that. But if that passes, then you have that set years where you only have 5 years of eligibility, can only transfer one time. Like all those type of things I think will factor in. I know Matt Hayes has been talking on XL Primetime a lot about the GPA being involved, where it's like you have to have, he's saying 2.5, something like that.
His suggestion.
Yeah, a 2.5 GPA to be able to transfer. And so are these kids going to be okay? If you transfer one time and you can't transfer again, do you think there's more of a chance of them going back? Because that's another thing we're seeing is some of the kids going back are going back to different schools. They're transferring to go start somewhere else. So if some of these things start to pass, all of a sudden you can only stay 5 years. You have already used one of your transfers. All of those things start to pile on. So maybe it lessens a little bit as time goes if those pass. But I do think that there is a world where some people are going to be like, I know I'm not an NFL player and I'm not going to be drafted, but I know I can make $5 million this year playing college football, so I might as well do that. I do think there's going to be some of those, but I think some may be eliminated.
Well, I think you'd have to add.
I don't think you're making $5 million if you're not draftable. You know what I mean? I would think, but I get what you're saying. Like you make more. Listen, you can make more money in college depending on where you're drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, now today, Well, take that back. I mean, the minimum, what did we just say, 885?
Mm-hmm.
If you make the team, right, that's the rookie minimum contract. So those guys, the majority of them making over that?
The majority,
I mean?
no. There's just a handful, I think,
Right.
that, are going to
So it's just interesting. Like, I don't know. I mean, it would depend on the money, I guess.
Right. I would add to Matt's idea of the GPA, I would also add, like, you have to be gaining towards a degree.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a certain amount of credits that you are also getting.
Not just basket weaving and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Hey,
Parks
basket
and
weaving, if you want to
recreation.
take
Towards a degree, you're
right.
saying.
But if you want to take basket weaving,
Yeah.
by all means, look, we all took electives that
Yeah.
weren't necessarily towards our degree, but, they satisfied credit hours. And
I wish they had Parks and Recreation at BC. I would have done that all day long.
Yeah.
Turning on
I
lights,
took-
turning them off.
I took
Like,
geography of Africa. That was one of my
No, I
classes.
meant it's like a major, not an elective.
Oh, yeah. I just took.
I was terrible at
Teddy
geography.
Dupay was in my class.
I
which
will
was
say,
cool.
Tommy, there are some, obviously, like Sam Hartman, for example, got paid a pretty penny at Notre
Right.
Dame and was not drafted. So there
True.
are still the guys that are
Quarterbacks.
just like those quarterbacks, or maybe if you're a wide receiver, a positional guy, you probably are. But I think the quarterbacks is probably that outlier. But some that are just college quarterbacks, and you always hear you're probably not going to be drafted. Maybe you're on an NFL roster, but
Like a Trinidad Chambliss.
He stayed a little long because he probably knew that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's easier.
Yeah.
There's less pressure.
Yeah.
By the way, I must have just been looking at the E5, like middle of the fifth inning, or between the fifth innings, because it was 3-0. It's definitely 3-0. I don't know what I thought.
You just saw the number 5
That
somewhere.
must be what I saw, just a quick glance, but it
Yeah.
is definitely 3-0 Florida.
Okay.
Sandifer is now out, and I told Joe we might see Caden McDonald hit and pitch. Well, he is now the relief pitcher.
Oh,
so
okay.
he is
There we
there,
go.
yeah. So we'll keep you updated on that. Again, the game over on 10:10 a.m. And I must be just losing my mind on this Friday. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
In your car, at home, or on your phone, radio play-by-play is where you are.
What a game for the Jacksonville defense.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
Hi, this is Dr. George Bari, an orthopedic surgeon who is fellowship trained in sports medicine. If you are a young athlete or a weekend warrior, I treat you with the care and expertise that is needed to diagnose and treat your injury. Come see me at Bari Orthopedics to get the care that you need.
Be sure and check out the expertise from Dr. George Bari and the entire staff at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com. And follow Doc on Instagram at Dr.GeorgeBari.
Hey, I know how awful it is to get injured, but never due to someone else's negligence like many of you. Tom McManus here. If this speaks to you directly, check out Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, over $30 billion recovered for their clients. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. Wow, a proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone else's neglect, get paid. Dial pound law or check forthepeople.com.
Helmets and Heels Friday
is brightened by Bowden Iron Associates.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. ET here, and it's bigger game days and UFC fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that's always coming through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late at night? Only at Twin Peaks, your #1 sports bar.
Retired U.S. Navy Commander Chris Valdivia from American Roll-On Roll-Off Carrier. The hardest transition isn't deployment, it's coming home. Be part of the solution at ONU's Mission Possible Gala, October 17th at Sawgrass Marriott. For information and to register, go to onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org.
What Major League Baseball team has never been to a World Series? The answer next.
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Seattle Mariners, who were founded in 1977, have never been to the World Series.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
Picking here, or maybe you should call me Dreamfinders Danny. Look what Dreamfinders is doing again, an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Honda always has cool stuff, Greg. But talk about the side-by-side of what Pioneer has.
I tell you, the all-new Pioneer, which is their flagship model, all redesigned this year, comes with a cab for heat and AC, so if you want to stay a little cool on those hot summer days when you're out riding, this is the ticket.
And you can have the stereo, full sound.
You name it, we got it. Wheels, tires, stereos, lights, heat and AC, we're your people.
Go check it out in the showroom. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening the whole group can enjoy? Discover the thrill of Sharks football. Fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. It's Star Wars night. Presented by HCA Florida Healthcare. Don't miss this Saturday, May 30th, as your Sharks look to continue their winning ways. Kickoff 7 o'clock and tickets start at just $15. This is the fun you've been looking for. The first 1,000 kids receive a free lightsaber. Dress up as your favorite character and get photos with members of the 501st Legion before the game. The Force is strong with this deal. Try our family 4-pack. Get 4 tickets and $50 in food or merchandise vouchers, all for only $100. Join us on field after the game for our free autograph session, sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. Tickets start at just $15. To get yours, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks! 1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Just who the hell do you think you are? I pay the light bill in this bar.
So this is the Riley Green song. We're not going to have time to get to the part that I was talking about or the name of the song, but it's basically, I'm not as think as you drunk I am. And so the whole song is basically like, yeah, I can't stand up, I can't sit down, but I can dance.
Yeah,
and
good.
Ignore the mountain of cans in front of me. I've had a few, but I can sing every song on this jukebox. And
That's
then
fun.
at the very end, it has that little bit of Toby Keith's I ain't as good as I once was. Yeah,
Right,
and so
right.
that little part
Not
at
as
the
good
end.
once as I ever was.
Yes, and so it's a fantastic, just fun,
That's fun.
summer song. Think as drunk as I am is what it is called by Riley Green. By the way, maybe I was just manifesting 5-0 because now it is 4-0.
Oh.
Landon Stripling hit a
Maybe you
solo
had a
home run.
premonition.
Exactly, and
You and Liam.
that's right. Mine are very vivid dreams, though. He said he couldn't remember exactly where Borkature was taken in his dream. I could have told you exactly where
Where it
Borkature was taken if I had a dream about that. But Landon Stripling, like I said, just hit a solo home run. And so, again, Florida social media is great, the baseball team, and they put out solo strip steak for it.
Oh, they're being funny right now.
They are being funny.
Look at them.
It's
Look at them.
so hot,
being
and they're just
cute.
glad that they're able to play.
We did also, real quick, someone
Yes.
on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosure said, because we were talking about the electives, and someone
Mhm.
said they took the bowling as an elective at Kansas.
Oh, that'd be
like, that's
great.
kind of fun.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I'll go to class. I would
Go
love to go
bowl.
to class.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's
Can we
a lot
drink?
of fun ones. I'm sure.
Let's do a study. How good we are not drinking and drinking. Playing bowls.
Hayes says
We'll do it every other day.
He took scuba diving in college, so you
Wow.
actually get
Oh.
certified in that class, which is
That's
awesome.
cool.
I would have done that, but I was already certified before I went to college. My parents had us certified when we were young. We were
Okay.
like 14 and 12, my brother and I. All right, time now for Tom's Take.
Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com. Or dial #law. That's all.
All right, my take on this beautiful Friday afternoon, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, is a shout-out to my awesome wife, Christina, who is closing her doors today on Board 30 in Ponte Vedra, a fitness studio that she has owned and run with a business partner and some trainers for about 12 years now, and today is her last day. So just wanted to give her a shout out. Real proud of her. Listen, she took it from scratch and built it into a great community. A lot of women trained there, tens of probably 60 to 70 women a week for many, many years, and really happy that she's come to this decision because, the next chapter is going to be pretty outstanding. And selfishly, she'll be around more at the house. So good for me. It's a win-win in my book, but no, real proud of her. And it takes a lot to make that decision to say, stop, let me take a break, and then move forward doing something else. And we'll figure that out as it comes our way. Happy for you, babe, and proud of you, too. We'll be, like I said in my post, I'm buying drinks tonight, so get ready. All right, that's my take today. Brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, ForThePeople.com, and Pound Law in your cell. That's all.
Speaking of the next chapter, the Orlando Magic have a new head coach.
Yeah.
What does RJ think about it? We will find out next. Don't go anywhere. It's Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
At 1010XL,
Red Moondog 711 4213.
we speak at least 5 different languages.
3 Rocket X Craft.
We have a PhD in sports talkology. 1010XL.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Bowden Iron Associates.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey inviting you to celebrate America 250 with huge savings at the Employee Pricing Sales Event only at Big Number 1 Duval Ford. Right now, you pay what the employees pay on select new Ford trucks and SUVs. Drive off in a new F-150, a versatile Escape, or a family-ready Explorer, all with unbeatable savings and great financing. But don't wait. This red, white, and blue sales event is for a limited time only at the Big Number 1 Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue. Duval Ford, proud to drive America forward.
Take time out with Patrick Young.
Patrick Young here, a.k.a. the Big PY. And you know I love my Florida Gators.
Friday morning at 8:30 with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Tipped off by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and Kuhn Flowers on 1010XL.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to i9sports.com with summer and fall registration open right now, including girls volleyball at UNF and Bishop Snyder this summer, plus plenty of other sports on the First Coast. i9sports.com, enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The weather is heating up, and it's time to drop a line in the water. Gear up today at Green Acres Sporting Goods, Jacksonville's fishing headquarters. From Shimano and Penn Reels to Zoom baits and much more for saltwater and freshwater fishing. They've got everything you need to land the big one. And when your gear needs work, trust their expert rod and reel repair to keep you casting like new. Stop by Green Acres today or shop online at greenacresporting.com.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement.
This is Max Fink with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at kuhnflowers.com.
I'm Chris Wayne with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Jaguars continue phase 3 of OTAs today in a private session, but if you want to see them live during their June 10th practice, there are still a limited number of free tickets available. Visit jaguars.com/minicamp to claim yours. The Florida Gators are facing Rider University right now on 1010 a.m. in NCAA Regionals action. Check 1010XL socials for game updates. It's 85 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Flying through this Friday afternoon, and yes, we do have breaking news when it comes to the Orlando Magic. RJ, I'll just let you take it from here. New head coach.
Yeah, new head coach, Sean Sweeney, the associate head coach, or should we now say former associate head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, now heads to Orlando. It does seem to me, just by the reports that had happened over the last few minutes, to be quite honest with you, it seemed that the Orlando Magic, this was the guy in which they were identifying as to who they wanted to be their next head coach. I understand, Billy Donovan was an option. And, according to Chandler Parsons, when you were listening to him on his TV show, Run It Back, it did seem that he said that, there's a lot of smoke there. Jeff Van Gundy was also a name that was coming up. If you remember, his brother had coached the Orlando Magic for 5 years, took them to the NBA Finals in 2009. Sean Sweeney is a guy who's, an assistant. He hasn't been, in the first chair. But the Magic did the same thing with, head coach Jamal Mosley back in Dallas, and gave him that opportunity, and you saw what he was able to do there. But, the Spurs tree and maybe the Popovich tree continues to grow, and continues to extend itself now, with one Sean Sweeney. And I think, a young guy.
You don't sound that excited.
No. This was the guy who I wanted.
Oh, you wanted Sean Sweeney. Okay.
I said if it wasn't going to be, my initial choices would have been a Sam Cassell or a Rajon Rondo. Somebody like that. A point guard who can understand where guys like Paolo and Franz need to be. But if it wasn't going to be that, it just seemed to me Sean Sweeney, young voice. Probably can relate to the players, probably a more collaborative effort. And it doesn't hurt that your team's in the Western Conference Finals and, all the youth that they have in the world down there in Texas. And you see the influx of youth that you have here.
He's 41, by the way.
In Orlando, young man, young legs. So, to see what he was able to do there as the associate head coach, with Mitch Johnson as well, I'm pretty sure he'll have some fresh ideas. Defensive identity. Right. Which I think that, the Orlando Magic want to keep there. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with his staff in terms of the offense goes. But I think he'll bring in the right guys. I love the hire. If it was between Van Gundy, Donovan, and Sweeney, with a bullet, I would have took Sean Sweeney. But it is a long shot.
Blood.
It's a long shot here because, if this doesn't work out, are there people starting to ask out of Orlando, namely Paolo Banchero or Franz Wagner? Are they asking, this isn't working, and now you're at the bottom of the barrel again? But it seems like they did some sort of, they flew to San Antonio and had some sort of private meeting with them.
He crushed the interview from what I read.
Okay.
That was one that blew him away in the interview process. So it looked like here in Jacksonville, with Liam, it makes you feel good, like the gut, and he's our guy. What he did with the defense, he was pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, no, this is a guy, I think he comes highly recommended by a lot of people in which you would ask. He's had a lot of opportunities, I think, for head coaching jobs. And if it wasn't going to be here, it's going to be in Chicago. It seemed like, Chicago was certainly interested.
Take that,
in his services there.
He is, so
this seems like to be the next young brain who's going to be innovative, who's going to, take, teams to new heights. But with this Magic team, you're asking him not to, be a part of a rebuilding phase. No, we have the team. Right. We just need the coach now to, bring us to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. Can you do that? Can you be that guy?
Finish coaching the rest of this postseason with the Spurs.
As he should.
He should. And I would imagine that in the NBA, it's not like in college basketball where you need that coach, or college football. You kind of need that coach to stop what they're doing immediately and start recruiting
on the next
and
thing.
or re-recruiting the current team
Yep.
and things like that. Yeah, I feel like
Well,
it's easier.
I was about to say, is that normal for the hire to be made while they're still actively playing, especially this deep into the postseason?
I think I've seen some of that. I can't think of names kind of like off the top of my head, but I think I've seen like where coaches have taken jobs while in the middle of, and assistant coaches for that matter, but in the middle of like a playoff run and, hey, I'm going to be the next head coach. But this is only step one for Jeff Weltman. I mean, I think for me, this is the most important offseason for the Orlando Magic. This is an important offseason for Jeff Weltman. I understand he got the extension signed. Many people want to probably burn down the entire city of Orlando for that fact. But if the DeVos family is saying, hey, we trust this guy to make decisions, there's a lot on that roster you have to change. But there's a lot of money that you put into 4 guys. So, who are you putting around those 4 is certainly going to be the question with the money in which you do have. It seems like they're going to waive Jonathan Isaac here, who you were giving a lot of money to yourself. So this is really going to be interesting. Now you have the coach, but now you need to build this roster. And if Jeff Weltman understands that, if Anthony Parker understands that, then this is going to be a huge offseason for the Orlando Magic. Because, I mean, when you look at the East is only going to get better. Toronto's going to be a lot better than what they were this past season. Charlotte's going to be a lot better. I mean, of course, Cleveland, New York, Boston, they're going to be in the mix as well. But, I mean, people have looked at you over the last 2 years and have said, you have a great opportunity to, get to the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe the NBA Finals. Hopefully Sean Sweeney is going to be able to take that mantle and take that pressure and be able to have grace under it. So and I think he will. I think he's going to be ready for the moment. I mean, heck, coaching Victor Wembanyama and the Western Conference Finals, perhaps the NBA Finals here. I mean, it gets pretty wild.
But how do you go from Wemby to anybody else, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, guys, who's going to be my Wemby
Yeah.
on this team? By the way, speaking of that, the Spurs won 118-91 last night. So Game 7 is tomorrow night in the Western Conference Finals at 8 o'clock. So that part's exciting. And right now, obviously, we have to plug tomorrow morning, open gym, 11 a.m.
Yeah, tomorrow morning we will have open gym. We will have Chris Persianen from Clutch Point. He'll be discussing all things Knicks as they wait around to see who their matchup will be in the NBA Finals. Is it beneficial to them that this Western Conference Finals series has went the full 7 games? And then we'll have Nate Ryan of CBS in San Antonio, who will talk about Game 7 and what San Antonio needs to do to win Game 7. Fortunately, I was not able to ask him about Sean Sweeney. Something told me that I should have. But he will be on This Magic Moment next week to discuss everything Sean Sweeney. So make sure to be on 1010XL Magic for that interview as well. So a lot of things going on.
All right, sounds good.
Beautiful.
Time now to swerve into Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
It is still 4-0 Florida Gators over Rider right now in the bottom of the 7th. Florida is up to bat and looks like Brendan Lawson, who I affectionately call B-Law, my version of T-Law, just got on first. So he just got a single. So that's at least good news. All right. I wanted to talk about Aiden King. FloridaGators.com put out a piece on Aiden and his background. And I just wanted to share a couple of things from the article because I, of course, absolutely loved it. He's a Bishop Snyder guy from Jacksonville. And his mom and his grandfather, his mom's dad, went to Florida. So he always wanted to go to Florida, but originally wasn't getting recruited by the Gators, but eventually ended up pitching so well at Bishop Snyder that he got the preferred walk-on and then the scholarship offer. But this is fascinating to me. So, and this is part of the reason why he didn't get the big offers right away. Before his freshman year at Bishop Snyder, he was 5'5" and weighed 140 pounds.
Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
So, I mean, some guys
Little
are
tight.
smaller when they start high school. By the time he
Sorry.
graduated,
Sorry, 5'5" or something. I mean, it's so bad.
Short king.
more
man.
5'5"ers though are probably like 175, I would say. But he grew to 6'2", 210 pounds.
Wow.
So that's a pretty good
What a
growth spurt.
Yeah.
For sure. He's 8-2 this season with a 2.68 ERA, 0.98 WHIP, and an 89-19 strikeout to walk ratio in one of the games he pitched in his, I think it was the quarterfinals of the FHSAA tournament against Providence, actually. Bishop Snyder won 3-0. he had 20 strikeouts out of 24 batters faced.
Wow, that's
yeah,
wild.
and his mom keeps a scorecard
I
as
love
he's
that.
pitching.
Heck yeah.
I know, right? And she was like, I don't think this is normal. Is
Yeah.
this right? Did I get this right?
Correct.
Yeah, but they say that he's super laid back other than when it's family game night and when he's pitching on the mound.
Yeah,
Other than
good.
that, he's super chill.
Yeah.
He has the lowest ERA of a Florida pitcher since Brady Singer back in 2018. And Singer or King tries to emulate Brady Singer, who
Okay.
now pitches in the big leagues. But I thought that was interesting. And then one other Gator note, unfortunately, Ben Shelton fell in straight sets in the second round of the French Open. So he's the highest
That dang
rated
Clay.
American
American,
man, but he bowed out already. So there you have it.
It's hard to play tennis on clay.
I'm
they played
sure
on
it
clay
is.
out there in the French Open on clay. Isn't that the one
Don't
that
ask
it's
me.
yeah, the footing's really challenging, I
I
think.
believe you.
Yeah, I think so. How do I know that? I have no idea. I had a thought.
I had a thought and
the
I
French
thought it.
Open. It's on clay,
Yes,
right?
Roland
yeah.
Garros is
Yeah,
on clay.
yeah,
yes,
that's what
I thought so, but I felt like I needed to double check.
You
'cause I
guys,
am
it's
no
funny.
tennis
Sometimes I'll
expert.
say stuff and you both look
Because
at
I
me
don't
like,
know.
huh?
I'm not going
Not
to
that
say
I
yes
know.
if I don't know.
Right. We
Yeah.
look at you, by the
Because
way.
then we all look
guess-
silly.
Speaking of the French Open, Novak Djokovic is also out. So I don't know who's
Okay.
going to win the tournament this year. I'm, again, no tennis expert. But yeah,
No.
I feel like when we look at you like that, it's more because we're usually like prepared and researched and like we have
Yeah.
an idea of what we're going to discuss and we've got, preparation stats, whatever. And then you'll throw something out of left field and we'll both be like,
Like, is it clay?
I have no idea, but I'll find out.
Well, these
really
thoughts
quick.
We
come
can
into
quickly
my brain.
find it
you
out.
know?
No, I
gotta
love
find
it.
a filter.
I love when people ask questions that I don't know the
Yeah.
answers
Yeah.
to right
That's how we
away.
learn.
Yeah, that's
That's how
absolutely.
we get
That
knowledge.
is
Taylor.
how it is.
Remember the whole
That's when
Marine
you,
Land
at
conversation
certain
yesterday?
points, trivia, those little things are
Yeah.
what lead into like
Yeah.
successful trivia because little fact, I remember when Tommy said this and it stuck forever.
Yeah.
Those little things, it helps if you're a trivia person.
Yeah, I hope y'all wanted to
I'm
learn
glad
about.
I helped you out
Thank
today.
you,
Hope you wanted to learn
Little
about
clay
Marine
action.
Land yesterday.
Yeah, we did learn about Marine Land also.
Yeah.
I shared some bird facts on Crosstalk today with Prime Time.
Oh, there
so-
you go.
Yeah.
How much you hate birds?
Yeah, no, it was just because my grandpa and my uncle loved birds, which I've talked about that story
Yeah.
on here. They raised pigeons, and so I was talking about
Tyson.
that and everything. And it's like a lot of people are like, I didn't know that existed. Yep,
Yeah.
you can raise
Mike
them.
Tyson raised pigeons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Raised to race.
Race. I think he just raised them. I
Raised
don't know
them.
if he
Oh, you
raised
said
them.
raced them.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
Racing
can race them.
pigeons.
Yep.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh. Wonder how you do that.
Well,
Taylor can tell you
yeah,
more.
I can.
Okay. What, you send like a
Coffee.
little fake bird out in front of them, they chase it down?
No, so pretty much you just take a bird and from the home you have they're homing pigeons, so they get used to like the scent and everything. I don't know exactly all the logistics of that, but they know where home is. And so you take them a little far. You take them to the end of the road
Oh, I
at first and they
gotcha.
fly home. You take them to the gas station across town,
yeah,
they fly
yeah,
home.
yeah.
And you just go farther and farther until you get to the point where they're getting home in like thousands and thousands of miles, and then you can race them.
Wow.
So my grandpa would,
Interesting.
at the time, lived in Northwest Indiana, would drive to like Georgia, and everybody, it's a whole club. So the whole club goes, they
Uh-huh.
all release their pigeons, and then the pigeon that gets home the fastest,
Yeah.
you win money.
So somebody's waiting at home, I would imagine.
Yeah, you
'cause-
go back home and you wait for the bird to get home.
Oh, you'll beat the bird.
Yeah.
They don't fly the whole time?
I'm guessing they have to rest a little. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
I
it-
wonder. Like,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it would take
Oh,
time.
I never heard that
sometimes.
before,
And
yeah.
sometimes you think you'd lose them, and then they'd show up a few days later, and they just got a little
Slow
lost or
pigeon.
distracted. I don't know.
ADD pigeon.
Yeah. Tom McManus pigeon.
Squirrel. No, stay in the air.
Keep flying.
Keep flying.
You
Flap
can
your wings.
do it. All right, more to do on the other side. I've got no way to segue that into anything we're about to talk about, so I'll just throw it a
Fly
break.
into the
We'll be
break.
back.
Here we go.
There you go. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Remember when Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser broke into show business?
I just love auditioning new talent. I get all excited.
Look at them now.
We're partners.
And together, they're the Drill.
You bet. We're friends, aren't we? Partners and friends.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Hacker here for Cornerstone Interior Solutions. If your AC is working overtime every summer, your insulation may be the problem. Homeowners and builders across Northeast Florida are calling Cornerstone to upgrade to spray foam insulation. It seals homes, crawl spaces, garages, blocking in cool air and blocking out heat. So your home stays cooler, your system runs easier, and your energy bills stay under control. Don't wait for peak heat. Visit CornerstoneInteriorSolutions.com.
It's a Helmets and Heels Friday, checked by Bowden Iron Associates.
At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, care starts with listening, one-on-one consultations, clear answers, and a plan built around you. Our orthopedic surgeons, sports medicine physicians, and rehabilitation specialists work together to treat injuries, manage chronic pain, and restore strength and mobility. From your first check-in to your personalized treatment plan, everything is designed to help you move forward with confidence. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville. Expert care, improving lives.
Sent in, and Sporting Jacks breaks through first.
For the latest on Jacksonville's pro soccer teams, join the Sporting Jacks Coaches Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues, every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010 AM and 1010XL.com.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I want to thank our friends from Daly's for sponsoring our Walk-Off Charities Golf Classic, June 8th at Deer Creek Country Club. Now get this. For every fried chicken sandwich sold between now and then, Daly's will donate $1 to Walk-Off. That's right, for every single fried chicken sandwich sold between now and then, you help a young person in the community play baseball. So head to Daly's today and grab one of those delicious fried chicken sandwiches. And we'll see you at the Daly's Walk-Off Golf Classic, June 8th. Daly's. It's nicer here.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. In today's world of retail, how has a store like Underwoods stayed viable against the big national stores?
Frank, that's a question with a direct answer. At Underwoods, we've never aspired to be the biggest. What we've always tried to do is be the best. When you take this approach, there's some things that come to mind immediately, like fine quality merchandise bought by buyers that are experts, high levels of service delivered by a staff that are helpful and know what they're doing. Then there's some things that people don't really think about at all, like the finer a gem, the more rare it is. And these gems are not mass producible because they were made by God millions of years ago. Because of that, there just aren't enough of these for the big multi-store retailers to buy and put into their merchandising schemes. So at Underwoods, we buy these finer, rarer gems and create jewelry pieces that the people in Jacksonville expect out of us.
When you want the best, it's Underwoods. Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Florida still up 4-0, now the top of the 8th. And Ernesto, I cannot pronounce his last name, but Ernesto is pitching. It's like, I'll look it up in a second. But he is number 44, and he is usually really good in relief. But Kevin O'Sullivan has already had to go out to the mound and talk to him to kind of settle him down. So I also saw Jackson Barbary is in the pen. What happened with
Liberty
Boston College?
beat BC 4-3. That's okay. We'll live.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'll have a beer
Lugo
for him lately.
Pinchola. That's his last
Good job.
Good job. Well, so it's
double elimination, so you're not out
Oh, it
yet.
is. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll see what
you're
happens.
still in it.
Okay. We'll still have a beer for him.
There you go.
Yeah.
You'll have a beer for anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere, right? Like the Jaguars will play anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere. That's how you are.
Yeah. I don't know. Like when they're on London games, I don't pop open a beer at 9:30 in the morning. That depends, I guess.
I was going to say, when we were at Monkeys last year,
we did.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, that's true.
There was
Check
Jaeger
that.
bombs happening at 10 a.m. that morning.
Check
so.
that. Okay. Yeah.
Not by me. No.
Plenty going on.
What I meant was like if
7 a.m.
if you are thinking of someone like BC baseball, you'll have a beer for them anytime, any place, anywhere.
Why not?
All right, let's talk a little Jaguars football. Jordan Dajani of CBS Sports put out an article earlier this week about the AFC South win totals and whether he thinks these teams, those 4 teams, will go above or below the win totals. So we'll start with the Texans. The Texans over-under is 9.5.
Yeah.
Would you go over or under?
Over.
Okay, and that's what Jordan says too, over. The Colts, 7.5. Over or under?
Under. I'm going to say 6.
Okay. Oh, Taylor's thinking hard.
Yeah, I kind of want to say over. I think they'll win 8.
Okay, Jordan has over the 7.5. He does not believe that the Colts will continue to regress. I will skip to from the Jaguars now, but to the Titans we go 6.5. Over under 6.5.
That's a good one. I'm going to go under.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess under.
They
I
went
would say
7,
6.
no?
Yeah, that's what I would say 6, 7. Haha.
Yeah.
But the 6.5 gets you. So I guess I'll say under for that one.
Okay. Yeah, and Jordan says under for that one. And then when it comes to your Jacksonville Jaguars,
Over.
he says for the 8.5, he does have over, and I'll explain why. Well, I'll explain what he says. After the Jaguars' impressive 2025 season, you can say the team got worse this season. They lost Devin Lloyd, they lost Travis Etienne, and cornerback Greg Newsome in free agency. Then general manager James Gladstone put together a confusing draft class. You never want to harshly judge a group of players before they even take the field, but the Jaguars drafted the 25-year-old backup tight end with their first selection. With that said, I'm a believer in this coaching staff with Liam Cohen, Grant Udinski, and Anthony Campanile. The Jaguars accomplished all they did in 2025 without Travis Hunter, even though obviously he played half a season, but moreover. Plus, Brian Thomas Jr. was a disappointment in his second season. What if both those players became difference makers in 2026? Or maybe Gladstone trades BTJ and some picks to the Eagles for wide receiver A.J. Brown. You never know. I have a hard time believing the Jaguars will regress by 5 wins in 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
No.
Something terribly bad would have to happen. And that's, to me, like Trevor is out most of the season. Yeah.
Knock on wood.
I think gosh, if they don't win 10, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You know, I got them 11-6. So, but I mean, 13 wins is a lot. It's hard to do 13 wins, especially back to back. But again, who cares what the win total is? Just get further in the playoffs than you did this year. And then that's a success.
Yeah, I think
overall.
What's cool to me is this Jordan Dajani even mentioned Grant Udinski. I feel like he's completely overlooked around the league, other than if you had a team that was interested in him for your head coaching job. I feel like the average NFL fan, maybe they know that he's young and he loves to go camping like in remote places and whatnot. But moreover, I just feel like he's not a household name at this point in time.
Well, I think most people believe Liam calls the plays. So, he's listed as the OC, and he is the OC.
Right.
But if the head coach calls the plays, that takes away some of the responsibilities of the OC. So some people are like, well, who's this guy anyway?
Yeah.
But we know how important he is. I know the league does because they're interviewing him for head coaching jobs, but that's probably from the outside looking in. They're like, well, he doesn't call plays, so how can you even call him an offense coordinator? Although he is.
Yeah. Well, and I think some may know a little more just because he did have, interest in being a head coach this offseason. And a lot of teams, once that happens, the name is circulating in that, they're getting interviews type of world. If you didn't know much about them, you do start to learn a little bit about them. And then also he was with KOC. And so a lot of that was linked in Minnesota. It was already talked about how big of a part he was with those quarterbacks too. So he was already being talked about. Then he comes and Trevor does what he does. And there was probably some people looking at what happened with Trevor. How did he get so much better? And you link to Liam Cohen right away. But then you started seeing those articles where it was like, oh, he's getting an interview. And they were saying, a large part of the quarterback development for several quarterbacks has been under Grant Udinski. So I could see NFL fans knowing more about him than they did a year or two ago. But because the moment your name is circulating in head coaching interviews, you're talked about a little bit more.
I wonder if his offense is Liam's offense. Like if he
like
had
if it would
to,
look the same.
Yeah, like if obviously when he got interviewed, they asked him, "Well, what offense would you run?" I'm sure he's like, "Well, we'd run the similar, or maybe we have a wrinkle here or there." Devil's advocate, I guess you could say, yeah, great in developing QBs. We've seen that, but why isn't he calling plays if he's OC? Like, will that eventually happen? Will Liam say, "Hey, Grant, you know what? This is a way for you to move on even further, although you're getting looks right now, make even stronger. You know my offense. I trust you. I believe in you. I'm going to be there." I know we went through it. We went through it before, and it didn't go out well, but that's how it normally works, right? You bring in your OC, you let him take over eventually.
I feel like it depends on the coach. Like it does happen at times, but I don't think right.
Yeah.
And I don't think Andy Reid's ever turned over the play calling. I think he has help in developing the playbook, but I think he's always, kept that. But then you have other head coaches who like Harbaugh was special teams, so he's not calling the plays.
He's got a coordinator,
and then you have Mike McDonald who just won the Super Bowl, who's defensively calling the plays, but offense obviously has to have.
Like Monken, will Monken call plays, or will he have an OC call?
I'm trying to remember what I want to say that Monken will call plays.
Okay. Well, it's his offense, I would imagine. That's what he's bringing to the table.
Yeah, usually in at least recent examples, when you start questioning why an offensive head coach isn't calling plays, usually something bad is happening. Like obviously here, when it was Doug or Press who's calling plays, it was because it wasn't looking good. So people were trying to figure out, and they're like, well, if it's Doug, why not give Press a chance? If it's Press, why not take the play calling? Same thing happened in Chicago with Matt Nagy. Everyone was like, stop calling plays. So Bill Lazor started calling plays, and then Matt Nagy took it back, and it's because it wasn't working. So usually if you have that offensive-minded head coach, they're going to call plays, or at least in bulk. Sometimes it's the offensive coordinator will call third downs or red zone or like certain things like their specialty they will call. I know that was a storyline down in Tampa Bay with that situation, but I do think that it's a little different. But usually people will question, if you're an offensive minded head coach, why aren't you calling plays if that's what you do? Like if that's what you're good at.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, you don't. I guess you don't have to. But you just got to be prepared to who would be your OC then. Or are you just going to call him? For Grant, you got your offense, you know what you want it to be. Are you just going to call it, which is fine? Like we talked about, there's a few coaches that do that, that have been successful, including right here in Jayville for a year. So, but it's just that, like, you look back to Eric Bieniemy, right? Didn't call plays under Andy Reid. That hurt him in his job. Now, granted, they said his interviews didn't always go well, so that's a part of it too. But he didn't call those plays. So where, I think it depends. Obviously, Grant's getting looks already without being a play caller. So that means he's got something special.
Yeah, incredibly smart type person. And Liam has said that Grant will call more plays in the preseason. Which, again, but that preseason is entirely different than the regular season.
And for the record, most of that out there, but there are coaches that put the pass game together, then the coaches put the run game together, then they come together, and then they bring it all together, and then Liam makes the final call.
And then you wonder, for a team like the Rams, for instance, with Matt Stafford, or the Pittsburgh Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, these quarterbacks with tons of experience, how much of the play calling is also a conversation with them? Like, obviously they go through the playbook and they take some stuff out and whatnot, but like, you have to wonder with all the audibles and things, like how much of a game is a collaboration between Stafford and McVay or Rodgers now.
When do you I don't know, when was the last time a quarterback just called his own? Remember, they used to do that. Like Manning was known for, like, he'd just call his he'd walk up there, the offense, he'd call the play. You know what I mean? Like, when's the last? I wonder if that still happens today. I don't know.
Possible.
I don't know the answer.
And that's where you want your quarterback to get to, for sure, to be that in control, to be able to. Now, we have heard, like, Trevor's called his own number at times.
Which is a sign that he knows the offense.
Which can be good, not always good if the play doesn't work.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that when you talk about what Udinski's offense could look like, it seems like, I mean, if you're taking what Liam Cohen does and you're taking what Kevin O'Connell does, they both come from that kind of West Coast Sean McVay, Shanahan style. So I feel like you have a grasp of what it would possibly look like with Udinski. But even with Liam Cohen, there was criticism of he only called plays in the NFL for 1 year. So it is crazy to think that people without Udinski calling plays at all. But I could just see it in the postseason. Like, Jags put up 54, and everybody's like, let Grant call the plays this year.
In the preseason, for sure.
Well, like you mentioned, his time with Minnesota, gave him a lot of, exposure too.
Yeah.
You
And
did.
I don't know
Preseason
how
does
much
matter.
KOC said,
Yeah.
hey, here you go. But I feel like coaches like that, and Liam's been vocal about wanting them to succeed and wanting them to get head coaching jobs and wanting them to go to those next levels. So I could see for, Liam Cohen saying here, have preseason, call this, like get used to and kind of show what you can do in this form. And I'm sure KOC probably did similar in that fashion to get Udinski those next chances.
But oh, by the way, none of the starters are playing in the preseason
Yeah.
because we're doing those joint practices.
Yeah,
So
good.
have fun play calling.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, right.
The
Well,
golden
that's what I'm saying.
moment.
If you put up 54 with the backups, then people
Right.
are really going to be looking at you.
That's right.
Heck yeah. The golden moment awaits. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels 1010XL 92.5 FM.
For decades, you trusted Fridays with Frank. Now, 1010XL turns the page. Hayes Carline and Ryan O'Halloran take you into the weekend with the lead.
4 to 6 Friday afternoons on 1010XL.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service.
Instant Keys comes to you. Bowden Iron Associates.
Helmets and Heels Friday.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Which school won the first NCAA men's basketball championship?
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Oregon Ducks won the first NCAA men's basketball championship in 1939. They defeated the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Preparation for the season begins now. 1010XL's coverage of this year's organized team activities is brought to you by Cash Building Material, Windows Done Right, and Dexafit Jacksonville. Know your body, transform your life.
We went to probably 4 or 5 jewelry stores.
Jacksonville's Mitch Vandal went to the town center looking for an engagement ring, but found the big box corporate jewelry experience wasn't for him.
Nobody was really helping us. One of the stores, some people walked in behind us and they were offered beer and champagne, and I'm wearing shorts and a cutoff, so I don't really look the part. So I was like, well, I guess we'll go somewhere else. I don't know if they think we can afford to shop here or what.
So he went across and discovered locally owned Beards Diamonds.
When I walked in, everybody just said, hey, welcome in, welcome to Beards.
Mitch loved the service and attention he got at Beards and ended up with a bigger, better quality diamond.
It was about twice the size of what I thought I could afford, and it was also about twice the size of what my wife thought she wanted.
Today, Mitch tells all his friends, shop local, shop Beards.
You're going to get the best deal on the best diamond.
Unbeatable value, unmatched selection, uncompromising personal service.
Anybody that I know, I want them to shop at Beards.
Beards Diamonds, St. John's Town Center.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Golden moment, as we've been talking a whole lot of college football this week, which has been, Lauren, you said it at the top of the show when it comes to, it's not actual football, but it's making college football relevant in a time where normally we're not usually looking. I feel like something happened in Florida baseball.
It sure
That's
did.
not good.
Riders hit a grand slam to tie it at 4-all. So, yeah, the 5 Rider fans that are there are pumped. I'm not making fun. I'm saying there's not that many Rider fans there, and I understand why, but of course they're going nuts. But yeah, that's not my golden moment of today. It is the top of the 8th, so there's still time, but you hate to see a grand slam swings, obviously, the full incredible momentum. So yeah, sorry to interrupt about college football.
Yeah, I saw the hand to the palm to forehead. I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
you are correct. That is not no bueno. I feel like I've had enough of these bad things happening in my softball, baseball world, for crying out loud.
But yeah, so the college football, when it comes to some of those, I saw some notes today with another team and coach we've talked a lot about. That's Indiana and Kurt Cignetti. So Kurt Cignetti today says the NCAA needs to implement changes to NIL before it permanently impacts college football. His quote, "The market is pretty expensive. It's scary. I think players should get paid, but something's going to have to be done in the next 12 to 24 months, or universities aren't going to be able to handle this. College football won't exist the way we're going right now." Some power schools are now exceeding over $40 million annually on their rosters, which I mentioned earlier. And so, yeah, I mean, to his point, I don't think he's wrong in the sense of there's going to be a bulk of schools that won't be able to keep up with this. And then what are you doing to college football in taking when it comes to just some of the older schools that have been around forever and you still want them in talks, or just some of the lower level schools that maybe just can't afford that. You don't have the big boosters, and you have that, $20 million. That is the pay for play now. But if there's other schools are doubling, if some schools are able to double what you're able to pay, there's just going to be this unevenness there. And so that's some of the things we saw, some of those changes that they're looking forward to, the Lane Kiffin rule and the not being able to transfer more than once, and some of the 5-year eligibility. This should probably be one of those marks where there's a cap at how much your rosters can be. I don't know what that number is, and I don't know how they totally implement that, but I don't think he's wrong when it comes to that.
No, I mean, look, you take Ohio State and Indiana, it's like a $13 million difference in what it's costing their team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a pretty big discrepancy inside the same conference.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You'd think maybe it'd have to be a little closer. And that could be the floor. It could be, you know what I mean? Like maybe you got to pay a little, or not pay so much, pay a little more on the other end. But you had to find it a little bit closer, because eventually, there will be teams, Like I said earlier, I'd like to know how did Indiana get all their money? I mean, I know how. Cuban's their guy.
Yeah, it is Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban, that's where they got all their money, or at least part of their money.
For
so
sure. And then there's, I'm sure, some rich Indiana boosters.
Yeah, and they joined them, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it's like... What makes me sad is college football existed without all of this for so long. And outside of the NFL, it was the favorite sport in America.
Yeah.
And I know baseball once was, but I feel like it had been the NFL one and college football right behind it. And now some people, I'm not saying people don't watch anymore because of all this stuff, but I do think they're not as passionate as they once were. But imagine being a booster, let's say for Ohio State. You've now given $10 million, over the last 4 years, whenever NIL started. And your team isn't faring the way you want it to be. Now, Ryan Day is on a hot seat once again that he just was before they won. And Ohio State's a bad example because they've won a championship recently. But take like Texas. Texas hasn't won a national championship. These boosters are giving money. And money. Like Steve Sarkisian at some point is going to be on a hotter seat because of that.
Yeah.
Even though
We're
he's a good
funding
coach.
you to be able to, money should equal wins. And if you're not doing that, then they're going to start putting pressure on the coach. And I think that when you're going through too, when you're looking at all of the teams, and we know the spending, and we know you went through the list of, the teams that recruit a lot, the higher recruiting schools, the higher portal schools, the ones that can do both. Miami's one of the ones that have been able to hit the portal really well and also be able to recruit. And so that's where it's going to be interesting to see where that balance is, because we have a team like Indiana this last year, who we know is majority portal players, and they are spending money. You have a Mark Cuban that's able to put money into that program, but where does the balance start to happen of, the money is part of it, but I think even beyond that, you're talking about students, and there's no loyalty to the programs anymore, and that's what college football was about so long. You know, you would, even when they were in professional football, they'd be like, the Ohio State, and now they're like, oh, I went to Ohio State, I went to Wisconsin, I went to Texas, I went, like, what does it matter anymore? And
we're not even going to have those videos anymore because it's going to take too long.
And that was what college
everything.
Football was. You just where your program was where you went to school, and it was just something a little extra that there was the locker room rivalries between players who played for, rivalry colleges, and then now they played for the same professional teams, and you're just losing all of that, which is what made college football different from the NFL. And so if you're making college football just NFL 2.0, I do think you're going to lose a good amount of your fan base because they're like, I can just watch professional football if this is what the product I'm going to get.
I feel like I think like the big games in college ball will still have the same kind of feeling, like the rivalry, the pageantry, that kind of thing. I think once they start playing, you almost forget who's making what.
I mean, we've already lost a lot of the rivalries, I feel like, because of this. I mean, even the SEC-wise, they don't play each other as often.
Yeah, like Florida doesn't play Tennessee every year now. They've changed that.
Florida,
Notre Dame,
Georgia,
USC is gone.
Florida, Georgia will remain.
Still around.
Florida, South Carolina, and Kentucky are the three.
I mean, they'll. I mean, like when Ohio State and Penn State play, or Michigan, I personally don't go, well, who's making what? I watch, it's Ohio State, Michigan. It goes back to the rivalry, I guess, for me. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't feel like. I know some people will because they'll be like, no, they're paid.
Into it.
Yeah.
Imagine 15 years into it.
No, right.
Is what I'm saying.
Well, it's like the Olympics. They used to be all amateur. Now it's all whatever.
Yeah.
You could be 50 and win a gold medal. Great. Your 20th try.
Cheers.
Oh, my goodness. Well, oh no is right. Ryder just hit a 2-run home run.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so they've gotten, obviously, to Florida's pitching, the relievers, and Ryder, the team itself is jacked. And Jackson Barber is the one that gave up the grand slam. He's the one that can throw 100 miles per hour, so obviously just didn't place that pitch where he needed to.
Went out far.
Yeah, and have I told you how much have I told you all how much I hate watching these sports while we're on air?
Yeah.
Having to multitask and all that. Stop showing the Riders fans. Okay, Ryder fans. All right, one segment to go. The pest of the day. I wonder who that might be. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, 10 to Nix on 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting!
Helmets and Heels Friday.
Written by Bowden Iron Associates.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
Southwest Greens is the OG of artificial turf in North Florida. Stop mowing and start chipping or putting or just relaxing with a beautiful backyard, maintenance free. Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Pickin' here, or maybe you should call me Dreamfinders Danny. Look what Dreamfinders is doing again, an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
I'm with Sullivan from Cycles of Jacksonville. And Sullivan, you love the beach and you love to ride. So tell everybody what Honda's got cooking right now.
Yes, definitely. Here at Cycles of Jacksonville, we have a full line: Hondas, Vespas, Triumphs, everything you can think of just to ride to the beach. It's going to be the best summer ever when you hop on that ride this year.
And so if you head to the showroom first, you're going to see all sorts of examples of what they can enjoy.
Exactly. Come see us at the showroom, Atlantic Boulevard. We're ready to see you there.
You can log on, check out their Facebook page or cyclesofjacksonville.com.
UFC Fight Night is coming in hot, and the best place to catch every hit, every kick, and every takedown is at Twin Peaks. Ice cold 29-degree beer, scratch-made favorites, and wall-to-wall TVs put you right into action. ET here for Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia from Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, his adorable chessman sidekick.
There are two things you want to ask when getting a custom polymer garage floor coating. Will it be done right? And will it be priced right?
And just how charming is their mascot?
No. At Checkmate, our small specialized install teams follow a strict 29-point installation checklist
to ensure the highest quality results at a price you can afford.
A Checkmate polyaspartic floor can be customized in dozens of colors and sweeps up sparkling clean in just seconds.
No need to wear your shoes in the garage to avoid tracking dirt back into the house.
The quality you expect?
Check. A price that might surprise you.
Check. A floor you just can't wait to show your friends? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
If you could be just any something, you could be my savior. Promise for my innocence that you would fight for it.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. One segment to go here on 92.5 FM over on 1010 AM. Your Florida Gators are getting beat 6-4 by Ryder. It is the bottom of the eighth. A lot of people questioned Kevin O'Sullivan's decision to pitch Russell Sandifer and not one of his aces. That's not the problem.
Yeah, that's
Russell Sandifer was not the issue. It's the relief pitchers as they've gone to the bullpen and things have not gone according to plan. Barbary, like I said, give up that grand slam.
When did they take out Sandifer? In the sixth?
That's a good question.
I thought it was around. I thought you said that. No.
I was trying to remember.
I don't think I did, but I'll find out.
Yeah. That's one of the most frustrating things.
If I was watching at home with no distractions, 5.2 innings pitched, and he gave up only 2 hits. So again, that wasn't the issue, but now they've gone through lots of different pitchers.
That's one of the most frustrating things in baseball.
100%.
When your starter is, you feel like they're good. Maybe a couple hits allowed, but they haven't allowed a run, or maybe a run. But then I feel like your manager sometimes, and maybe part of it was we were talking about he got hit in the forearm, so maybe they wanted to take it a little easy and have a pitch count a little bit because of that. I don't know. But the manager's pulling pitchers when you're like, they're cruising. Just let them go for a little bit.
A little longer.
And then next thing you know, it unravels because you have to go through multiple relief pitchers. And instead of just being able to use 2 or 3 guys, you have to go to 5 guys, and then you're losing. And it
normally
unravels
too, like Sully can trust his bullpen. That's been proven pretty much throughout the season, other than here and there. But the bullpen doesn't normally do this, so that's the other reason. Yeah, you're like, all right, Sandifer got us through 5.
Yeah, good job.
And he was. I know he was responsible for runners on second and third when he was removed. But yeah, by the way, if you're a Tennessee baseball fan,
this game's wild.
You are watching a marathon of a game. Tennessee, East Carolina, knotted at 2. That game, obviously, in Knoxville, Tennessee, because Tennessee is hosting this regional. At least you know what? There's not a seed by Tennessee. This is in Chapel Hill. Just kidding.
Yeah,
North Carolina is the host of this, but it is at the top of the 13th inning right now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, normally Tennessee baseball is so good with the former manager or head coach Tony Vitello, now the manager for the Giants, and so I just assumed Tennessee's hosting, but I forgot this year they made the postseason clearly, but they haven't had nearly as good of a season, but at least they're still playing baseball. I guess I'll look at the positive side in Gainesville that the weather hasn't stopped that. And
now they get extra baseball.
yeah, they get a ton of extra baseball. Good news for Florida. Caden McDonald just hit a solo home run, so it is now 6-5. Again, if you want true play-by-play, go to 1010 AM. I am not the best play-by-play, but I'll give you what I got as well as hosting
Is it in
the
the
show.
8th or 9th now?
It is in the bottom of the 8th.
8th, okay.
So, yeah, plenty of time with 6 outs to go for Florida, 3 outs to go.
East Carolina just got a double.
Yeah, we're giving you all the college baseball today.
I hope St. Mary's beats UCLA. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be a nice little upset.
Yeah, UCLA, the 1 seed, which Brad and I talked about it all season long, or not all season long, but over the last few weeks as far as UCLA, like playing in the Big Ten, you're not facing the same type of competition that you're facing in the SEC and the ACC baseball-wise.
Yeah.
So we kind of wondered, like, how good is UCLA? But yeah, we shall see. It's early in that
for
one.
those West Coast Big Ten teams must be a pain in the butt.
Heck yeah.
Oh my gosh, it would be
especially
so
for
awful.
Olympic sports and whatnot.
I will. It's funny too. So I saw a post earlier on Twitter, and it was all the different baseball fields that these regionals are being played on, and every baseball field's a little bit different. But as I was watching this video, I honestly watched it like 6 times just to see the different measurements of each field because they all just overlap. So they play it, and you can like see the changes as it's happening, and it looks kind of crazy. But it's also funny. Like, why? Why do you every single field look different? Like right field on some super short, some each side. That both the center's deep, and then the other 2 come in, and some it's uneven where the left is way deep and the right is short. And every single one was so drastically different. And I guess that's part of home field advantage. You get used to your field, and that's one of the ways that you can do it in baseball. But it was just kind of cool to see how drastically different some of the fields are, and some of these are going to be playing on multiple different ones throughout this.
Yeah, Florida had a marathon game with Clemson a few years ago in the postseason, and their field I'd hated. Florida wasn't hosting I think it was a super regional or super regional, but either way, I think it was a super regional. But yeah, their field is super weird. All right, time now for today's Pest of the Day. It's always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. It's TERMINIX.com. They do a fantastic job taking care of ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. Stand-up triple now for Florida. But I'm not going to make Florida Best of the Day or Rider Baseball because hopefully Florida still pulls this one out. But they're in the French Open. This player, French Open player, tennis player, female player, her name is Zeynep Sonmez. But she had to retire from her women's doubles match because of advertising that she ended up running into trying to get the ball. And
like a sign?
Yeah. She ended up with only minor injuries, but of course asked now for those advertising boards to be removed. So yeah, you can't have that as an issue. I didn't watch it live, obviously, but you can see her like in pain. And so yeah, she hurt her knee.
I saw the heat was pretty rough.
I saw that too.
Like,
But
they were falling out when getting hot.
100%.
90 degrees, so it doesn't seem like, I don't know, 90.
Did it say it was 90?
Well, I saw that one of the matches just lasted like 5 hours because if those tennis, that's a really long time, especially if it's even if it's a doubles.
I mean, it's funny, like on the weather, you see heat wave up north, high of 86.
Yeah.
And you're standing there like, man, we take 86 all day long.
But they don't have air conditioning. That's why it's a problem up there. A lot of those places, especially older buildings and whatnot, they didn't ever need air conditioning, but now they do. I feel like you have to have air conditioning and heat, no matter where you live.
You gotta have the heat for sure.
Yeah. I wonder if there are places in Florida that didn't originally have heat, like down in South Florida. They
you
might,
don't need it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I know that barely turn their heat on during even the winter here.
Yeah.
Like my brother will, unless it just random freeze, which I think we had one this year where it did drop pretty low, but he's like, I don't really need it. Get a blanket and you're good. Yeah.
Like this
my
past
apartment
winter,
gets freezing, so there's no way.
Yeah, this past winter, it was actually freezing outside, so we didn't need it. All right, reminder for people tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, Dad Bod's taking a stage at String Sports Brewery in Jacks Beach on Penman Road, the old Terry's Country Store.
That's
correct. Right. Shout out to Terry's Country Store. It was a great spot.
I miss Terry's.
But we'll.
I love String,
I do too.
but I also miss Terry's.
Yeah, it was nice going in there and getting a couple things when you needed it. But yeah, we'll take stage at 7:30 to 10:30. Got a couple new tunes. Going to throw Roadhouse Blues out there from the Doors.
Nice.
And What I Like About You from the Romantics. We're
Okay,
gonna,
I like
we're
that.
going to rock it up a little bit. So we'll do a little different.
I love it.
That'll be fun.
Let's say hello to another rock star.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hayes, have you been watching Florida baseball closely?
I have not. So I've been getting texts. So they were up 4-0, and now they're down 6-4.
6-5. We did just. I'll say we just hit a home run, a solo shot. But yeah,
Ryder hit a grand salami.
Jackson Barbary, who throws 100, gave up a grand slam to make it 4-all. Then another pitcher gave up a 2-run home run. But then, like I said, Florida at least was able to get a home run back. So yeah, down 6-5, only 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, and runner on third. So
that's brutal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if the Storms can pull it out.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tom gets into
sacrifice. It was a sacrifice punt, stealing home. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
East Carolina scored.
Yeah, there you go.
And Florida must have scored too.
Florida must have scored. See,
Two-run home
It's like watching Tiger Woods play golf with a fist pump.
Cade Curlin, 2-run home run. Florida's up now 7-6 with only 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
All right. Well,
what's coming up on the lead, Hayes?
We will talk a little bit of baseball, I guess. We'll keep you updated on that. But yeah, we're real excited. We're going to do a fun thing today. We're going to beware Rosenhaus, beware Boris, beware Sexton. We're going to start our own sports agency, and we're going to do a draft. So it'll be 3 of us. Ryan's on the clock, then JJ, then me. We're going to pick, if we were building a sports agency from scratch, who would we draft to be our clients? So we'll go around. We'll do that for a few rounds. That'll be fun. And Mark Long will join us at 4:15. So that should be a lot of fun to talk Jaguars and Gators. And Kai Stevens will join us around 5 o'clock, right before 5 o'clock, to talk Jaguars and OTAs. So a lot of fun stuff coming up on the lead.
So Mark made sure that he was the first guest that you have on the show.
He did. We'll see if he answers the phone. I mean, you never know with this guy. But we believe Mark Long will be joining us at 4:15.
He's not covering Florida
He's
Rider?
not. He is not. So now maybe if they lose, he'll have to scramble to get over there. But no, I texted him earlier. I was like, are you sure that you're not doing baseball at 1? And he was like, thankfully I'm not. So I think he's
He doesn't
okay.
strike me as the biggest baseball fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, thanks, Hayes.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Thanks so much. You do the same. All right, Tough.
Oh, no, I was just laughing because yesterday I had quite a scare out in the hallway. I was carrying my bowl of popcorn around the corner, and JJ came out and scared me, and I tossed my popcorn up in the air. It went everywhere. Hayes and Frank are like, what just happened? And I'm like, I don't know. So it just made me laugh because Hayes was cracking up, and my popcorn was all over the floor. But JJ actually helped me pick it up. That was very nice.
Nice guy. There you go.
That he is. All right, that'll do it for us. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you on Monday after the Jaguars have their OTA practice. But don't go anywhere. The lead with Hayes Carlin